Hello my viewers, welcome to my first Pokémon Showdown video. In this video, I have a few replays from a Generation III Overused tournament that I played over the summer. This was my set for week 1. I competed in season 14 of the Mushi League, and I'm now competing in season 15. My Showdown account name is Random Account 10, and I started the tour off as a relatively new player. So I was mainly using teams suggested by my team captain, and you will see me making some misplays throughout the set. Regardless, I hope you enjoy, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more Pokemon content. Let's get the ball rolling with Game 1. So you'll see that I'm going to lead with a Tyranitar, and my opponent's going to lead with a Zapdos. And the first move I clicked was Fire Blast instead of Crunch, and I think I misclicked here. This is a special attacking Tyranitar. And on the next turn, Kypro used Baton Pass to switch to Dugtrio, attempting to trap me. Although Dugtrio is too weak to actually KO Tyranitar with Earthquake, even with a Choice Band, so I ended up KOing it. Then Zapdos comes back, and this time I decided to sacrifice the Tyranitar to send an Aerodactyl. And the thing that I used with Aerodactyl, I would always send it in to try to get a huge hit or try to revenge KO a Pokemon. But Claydol switches in with the Rock Slide, and then I switch to Celebi, and apparently Kypro double switches back to Zapdos, which is an interesting play. Then Salamence comes in, and I go for Hidden Power Grass on Celebi, trying to catch Claydol, I believe, or another Pokemon. And then I switch in Swampert, and apparently this was a Mixed Salamence with Dragon Claw. So the misplay I made here was staying in on Swampert using taking a Hidden Power Grass, because most Mixed Salamences run that, and I just didn't think about that at the time. So I predict the Claydol switch, and I get a lucky critical hit with Double Edge there. And then Suicune comes in, which is most likely going to run Calm Mind or something. So I switch in Celebi as my designated check, and it actually goes for Ice Beam and gets the lucky freeze. No matter. Natural Cure solves all of that. And then Salamence switches in to do a double switch, and I actually send in Skarmory here. Then I protect, and it uses Fire Blast, so this actually puts me in a tight situation. So I had to send an Aerodactyl to take the Fire Blast, but it actually goes for Dragon Claw. But I do get this opportunity to use Rock Slide or Double Edge. And I click Rock Slide and KO Zapdos. It would have probably survived a Double Edge. Then Suicune comes back in, and I send in Magneton as my final Pokemon. So I'm kind of in a precarious situation here. And I actually use Toxic, presumably against the Salamence, to try to cripple it, but it actually goes to Gengar. Kypro goes to Gengar, but it uses Explosion immediately, and I used Protect, so that was lucky, I guess. And now it's Mixed Salamence, missing Fire Blast against my Skarmory / Magneton, I guess. But I do manage to Toxic. Oh no, I don't. I actually miss. That's unfortunate. So the luck kind of canceled out there. Fire Blast missing doesn't really matter here, but Skarmory is basically just gonna die. And there's really nothing much I could do about that. It even has Dragon Claw, so it doesn't have to stall out Fire Blast PP. Either way, Suicune switches in on my Double Edge to try to cripple it as much as possible, but I'll have to switch out. And this Suicune probably has a modest nature, so Ice Beam and Surf are going to finish off the rest of my team. Oh, actually no, the Celebi had recovered, but Celebi can't really do much to the Salamence, which is unfortunate. I get the Leech Seed off, but it doesn't really matter too much. I'm gonna basically die. I take the Fire Blast with Aerodactyl, so that's good. And then the next move I pick is Rock Slide. So basically Salamence gets sacrificed here. The critical hit didn't matter, and now it's just 1-on-3. But Suicune, it actually is an offensive Suicune with Calm Mind. So it might have not been modest, but it doesn't matter. Suicune practically sweeps my team here. And you'll see it in a couple of turns. So I lost the first game, but it's a best of 3, so I have a chance to redeem myself. But other than that, like, I didn't really do so well, but then again, I'm a new player, so I'm still kind of like putting my foot in the water and getting experience with the metagame. But it was a close match though, so I can't be too upset. So the next game on the list is the second game against the same opponent, and this time, they led with a Jirachi and I led with a Suicune this time. The Jirachi went for Thunder, which really shocked me, no pun intended. And I dodged the thunder. Nice. This is a Calm Mind war, essentially, but I have Roar to take down the to phase out the Jirachi. And I just stay in. And this Gyarados actually has Thunder Wave. But I still continue using Roar, probably anticipating Dragon Dance, and there's a Rhydon, which is very shocking. You never see Rhydon in Advanced OU, and I survive with 1% on my Salamence, which is kind of strange and kind of clutch. So I just use Hidden Power Grass against it, against the Tyranitar that ends up switching in. And then Gyarados switches in on Brick Break, actually. I get the lucky crit. I don't know if that matters. I haven't looked at this replay in a while. Then I send Suicune back in, take a Hidden Power Flying, and now it's going to try to set up. So it's going to be 2 attacks plus Dragon Dance plus Thunder Wave, but I get a clutch critical hit, which is going to really benefit me. Then I tried to trap the Jirachi with Magneton, and I start with Thunder Wave, but it's still going to continue using Calm Mind. So then I switch into Metagross. I have to take the Thunder, and it does Paralyze, which is kind of unfortunate. But somehow I'm faster than this Jirachi, and I just KO with the Explosion. So that was a good thing to see. Now Tyranitar switches back in, but Starmie actually comes in, taking damage from the Brick Break. And now I have to switch out here, because I still need Salamence. But Kypro makes a nice double switch and sends in Rhydon on my special wall, so I have to switch out again and have my Heracross take Rock Slide. So this is a Slack Berry set, and I had to go for Mega Horn here because I did not have a fighting move to hit it, which is unfortunate. So the Heracross quote-unquote reverse sweep had to get cut short. This time Rhydon does not get switched out, so I finish it off with Hidden Power Grass, and now Metagross comes in. And it gets one-hit KO'd by Fire Blast. The crit may have mattered depending on how bulky the Metagross was, but usually the crit doesn't matter from my experience in hindsight. The pendulum has now swung in my favor for this battle, it seems. And then Suicune comes in on the Starmie, and for some reason the Starmie did not have Thunderbolt, but this is an offensive Suicune, so I pick Hydro Pump instead of Surf. And now I have so many Pokemon to just do whatever. I sack Salamence here, take the Surf, and then Snorlax comes in, and if I remember correctly, I just self-destruct to guarantee the win. So yeah, this is a defensive Starmie with Thunder Wave, so I just win here. Yeah, I got a little bit lucky that game, so that contributed to my win, but I think I still could have won without it. Either way, now the set is currently in a tie, 1-1. And now we're going to switch to game 3. So Kypro leads with Zapdos, and I also lead with Zapdos. Now the good question is, what do you do when there's a Zapdos Mirror on turn 1 of an ADV game? Good question, I'm not sure. But Kypro ended up sacking his Gengar to my Zapdos by using Explosion. And there are 2 explosions as well, so that was pretty wild. 2 explosions right off the bat, and I dodged one of them with Protect. Now I have Gengar in on Zapdos, and I just used Ice Punch. Sorry for being a little bit delayed with my commentary. So now I taunt to prevent any shenanigans with Substitute or Baton Pass. Suicune comes in, takes the taunt, and it chips my Gengar with Surf. So if I remember correctly, I switch out here, back to Zapdos, and threatening it, and I'm going to threaten it with Thunderbolt. And Kypro leaves Suicune in for it to die. Now Zapdos is mirrored with my Zapdos again, and we're just going to trade Thunderbolts. And I don't remember if this was a speed tie, I could probably check. According to the log of the battle, this opposing Zapdos was faster. Now I pivot Swampert on the Thunderbolt, and I take a Hidden Power Grass, because most Zapdos run that instead of Hidden Power Ice, specifically to check Swampert. And surprisingly, Ice Beam did not KO. So that throws a wrench into some things. So I send my own Zapdos to sacrifice it, and then I expected the opposing Zapdos to use Thunderbolt to finish me off. And then Dugtrio comes in to pivot on the Thunderbolt, which is interesting, because usually you would send Dugtrio to trap a Pokemon that is not immune to ground, but it actually tries to beat up, which is interesting. Salamence comes in as soon as I switch to Skarmory, and this Salamence is once again mixed, so it's using Fire Blast against Skarmory, but I just use Roar instead. Spikes won't really help here, even though that's what Skarmory normally does. Zapdos gets chipped to 6% as I used Roar again. And then some more switching happens, and then I reveal Drill Peck. I don't think this Dark Trio can touch my Skarmory. Either way, the Salamence just knocks it out. Then I send in Gengar, and I'm in the prime position to KO everything with Ice Punch. So yeah. And the funny thing was that Dark Trio has to use Aerial Ace to finish off the rest of my team. So I thought that was funny. And I use Ice Beam so I don't miss with the water move. Either that or I predict the Salamence switch. I'm not sure which one it was. But either way, the Dark Trio just dies. Salamence can't really do anything because I'm pretty sure Gengar can one-hit KO with Ice Punch. So yeah, Swampert goes down, but the game is pretty much over. So I won this set for week 1, and my next set that I played was week 3. If you like this type of content, I can upload more replays from the rest of the tournament. During and between battles, I was incredibly stressed out because this is a team tournament, and I did not want my skill issues to hold the team back. Although I was new to competitive battling at the time, I still played relatively well, and I would only get better from here. Let's close the video now. My next ROM hacking tutorial might happen sometime during Christmas break, so in the meantime, I'll probably be uploading Pokémon Showdown videos instead. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a great day or night, everyone.